Hey friends, it's Rana, and today I'm doing something I never did before. I'm getting rid of some books. I know people here on booktube are crazy about hauling and unhauling books like they do it every month, but I never did it before, not in real life, not on booktube. And I've been thinking about it a lot, I don't like getting rid of books after I bought them with my own money, but at the same time I want my shelves to reflect my taste in books, to have books I love or I'm interested in, not to fill them with random books I was interested in them long ago or read them and hated them. I just want my shelves to have things that I love, and because I never got rid of books in my life, you can imagine how many books I have on my shelves that I lost interest in or I read and hated but kept them anyway. So today I'm here to try to unhaul as much books as I can. Many bookish friends told me that unhauling books feels great, so I'm here to find out if that is true. I have here 18 books, 9 which are in English and 9 which are in Arabic. And let's start talking about the books in English because I know you are all here and interested in the English ones. The first book we have, and it is the only book here today on this pile that I'm a little bit hesitant of getting rid of, is A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. This book is actually a DNF. I tried to read it in 2022 and I was bored to death by it. I couldn't complete it, but many people love it and adore this book, and it is crazy popular in the historical fiction community, but I didn't enjoy it. I felt it was too boring, but I really am hesitant. Should I get rid of it or give it another chance? Please tell me in the comment section. You may change my mind about it. And I really love the cover. Now for the books that I am quite certain I don't want on my shelves because I really didn't enjoy, and let's rip the band-aid with this one because they are quite popular in the sci-fi fantasy community. It is the Broken Earth trilogy. I have the first book and the third book. I read the entire trilogy in 2021. I gave, according to Goodreads, I gave the first and second books 4 stars and the third book I gave 3 stars. Now you might ask me, if you gave them this high of a rating, why are you going to get rid of them? Well, because I actually gave them higher rating than my enjoyment or understandment of these books, because of how much they are hyped and popular. Everyone who read this book loved these books and considered them masterpieces, and they did something amazing for the genre, but I didn't like them that much. And they are definitely not 4 and 3 stars. Like maybe the first book is 3 stars and the second and third book 2 stars each. Half of the time I was reading this trilogy, I was either bored or confused. I didn't understand half of the things that were going on and didn't really care. But I kept pushing myself through it just to see why so many people love them. And I really need to lower my ratings on Goodreads because they are not true at all. And I paid full price for these books. The next book I have is another quite popular book, and it is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. If you know my history with this book, you know and understand why I'm unhauling it. I read a couple of books by Neil Gaiman before, enjoyed some, found some to be okay. And I bought this book and tried to read it before the TV show came out. It was my senior year in university. I read till page 226, I think, 27, and I DNF'd it. Something happened in this book in page 227 and I hated it. So I stopped reading it, telling myself that I might give it another chance in the future later on, and it's been 4 years and I didn't pick it up again because I didn't want to experience what I experienced again from this book. So I DNF'd it. And many people after I started booktube and heard me saying that I DNF'd this book told me, you won't like it. It is not even that good, but it is quite hyped. So don't bother with it. Just unhaul it. So I'm here taking my friend's advice and unhauling it. These 3 books, I am sad for getting rid of them because of their beautiful covers. Aside from that, I don't really care. Another popular book we have is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. I read this book and another book by Colson Whitehead, The Nickel Boys. I didn't enjoy either of them that much. I think both were 3 stars for me. I think he's not the author for me. I don't enjoy his books and don't know why people like his writing style that much. That's why I'm getting rid of this book again. Another beautiful cover going to waste. It had a good premise, but I didn't like the execution. Another historical fiction here, we have The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. Also, I read this book, gave it 3 stars. It was okay. I didn't care for it that much. Not the best historical fiction book I ever read. And this one is not that much of a waste because I actually bought it secondhand. So I don't feel as much pain for this one. Then we have a poetry collection by William Blake, The Selected Poems of William Blake. I bought it recently, like last year, tried to read it, didn't vibe with his style of poetry. I know William Blake is one of the OG poets out there and he is really popular, but I didn't like his poetry style. And it is my fault. I should have took a look at his poems before purchasing this book, but my mistake. Getting rid of this one too. Then we have another second-hand book I bought. It is The Two Dead Girls by Stephen King, part 1 of the Green Mile, his book Green Mile. It was published in a series like this back in the days. That's why I have only The Two Dead Girls part 1. And funny enough, it was a Christmas present back in the 1998. I read The Green Mile. It was a really good book, but I don't think it is really that important for me to keep this one, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Next, we have Insomnia by Stephen King, a Stephen King book that I lost interest in. I also bought this one secondhand, and it is too long. And when I read the synopsis again and again, I feel like it won't be something I'm gonna enjoy, so why should I keep it and force myself to read a humongous book that I know I'm not gonna enjoy? So I'm gonna rid of this one too. Sorry, Mr. King, for having 2 of your books on my unhaul pile today. Now that was for the English books that I'm unhauling. Now for my Arabic books pile, if you would like to stick around to hear what I have to say about these books. The first book we have is Hamam Ad-Dar by Saoud Al-San'ousi. This book is a novel by Saoud Al-San'ousi, one of my favorite Arabic novelists that I have read. I don't really read that many Arabic novels, but I really like his style. This one, unfortunately, is his second most recent book published by him, and I really didn't understand a thing about this book. That's why I'm getting rid of it, unfortunately, because I really loved his 2 other books. Saq al-Bamboo and Tu'ran Hissa were really good books, but this one was not it. Next, we have a novel that I don't even know why I was so interested in and bought and read. It is Al-Fil Al-Azraq by Ahmed Murad. This novel, I heard about it on the internet when I was in high school, and many people claim it to be one of the best Arabic novels out there, so I was seeking it out and bought it, read it. I was too innocent to understand many references in this book, but when I grew up, I heard many people, other readers, talking about how sexual this book was, and I was shocked because when I read it, I didn't understand anything. Everything just went over my head. Even though when I was in high school, I didn't understand half of the references in it, but I also didn't enjoy it and gave it only 1 star. And I think Ahmed Murad is one of these very problematic authors. That's why I don't want to keep it on my shelves. Next, we have a controversial book. It is Tarikh Mujaz Al-Zaman by Stephen Hawking, or A Brief History of Time. I think it is in English. I read this book, understood absolutely nothing about this book, so that's why I'm getting rid of it. Hopefully someone will read it and understand more than my dumb self. Then we have 2 books by Agatha Christie. I enjoyed them, but I don't want to keep them because the translation to Arabic are so bad. There's no need for me to keep them. And the first one is أغنية الموت by Agatha Christie, or in English, And Then There Were None. I read it. The translation was horrible, but the book is good. But I don't want to keep an edition with a bad translation on my shelves, so I'm getting rid of it. Another book, I don't think I read this one. My sister read it. It is رجل بلا وجه, also by Agatha Christie. It will be in English, The Man with No Face, I think. I didn't read it, but it was, as my sister said, okay, and the translation was not even that good, so I'm getting rid of it. Now for the remaining books, I didn't read any of these books. The first one we have الياسمين الأحمر يمال الشام by Karim Amin. I tried to read 2 pages of it. I didn't like the writing style, so I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm no longer even interested in it, so maybe someone will read it and like it, but that someone is not me. Then here we have 3 books. These books, let me explain myself. When I was in middle school, I started reading novels for the first time, thriller novels, and they were by Dan Brown, especially the Da Vinci Code, and I became obsessed with something called the Illuminati and the Freemasons and whatever. So I started buying books about the subject matter, but never read them. And the first book I bought is سيرة الماسونية فك شفرة الرمز المفقود. This book talks about Dan Brown's novel The Lost Symbol. I don't know why I was interested in reading this book. I'm not gonna read it, let's be honest here. It is about Freemasons and whatever. Then we have another book about conspiracy theories, and it is الضباب الأحمر فوق أمريكا by William Guy Carr, or Red Fog Over America by William Guy Carr. Another book about conspiracy theories. I don't care about these things anymore. I don't even know why I even gave a fuck about this subject matter back in the day. Getting rid of it. And last but not least, the Bible to all of the conspiracy theorists, Pawns in the Game by William Gay Carr, or أحجار عرقة الشطرنج William Gay Carr. This book I bought like 8 or 10 years ago when I was in my phase of that Illuminati and Freemasons shit. And I didn't read it yet, and I don't know if I'm really interested in reading it now. It is quite popular between the people who are interested in conspiracy theories, and especially in Arab countries, like you can find this book in every book fair. A lot of people read it. Should I read it? Should I change my mind about this one? If you read this book and think I should read it, please tell me in the comment section. I might change my mind. I keep it. So these were all the books that I want to unhaul. I still don't know what I'm going to do with them exactly, or who I'm gonna give them to. The English books, I'm pretty certain I can sell for half the price or something like that. But the Arabic books, I don't know who will be willing to buy these books or to even take them. So we'll see about that. If you are located or live in Amman, Jordan, contact me on Instagram. We can make a deal and sell you for these books for cheap. So that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe to see my future videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!